onto the butt. I think it's my favorite. If you have a TheraLoop, we're going to use it. If you don't, I'm going to give you one. Um, I like to use these chairs or a bench. Most people have chairs, so I'm going to use the chair. Um, I just love the glutes. We got to work on a hinge. The hinge is the most important part of the glutes because in a squat, this part of a squat, that tiny little part, ba ba, is the only part that you actually use your glutes in. So it's very important that we establish that ba ba, that hinge. So what we're going to do is you're going to have hands here or hands here or hands here if you need to kind of remind yourself where that hinge begins. But you're going to screw the feet into the floor. So we're just going to kind of have our feet about hip width apart and we're just going to kind of screw the feet into the floor. Nice wide stance. Okay, we're going to stand up. Abs are in nice and tight. I shouldn't say nice and tight because you don't want them to be sucked in. You just want to have a pull of the core so you're standing in that neutral position. Chest is out, chin is tucked, you're gazing ahead. You're going to inhale as you hinge back. Notice that sometimes our knees will cave in. This is really important that we press our knees out. Sometimes if you turn your feet in, your knees will press out more efficiently. Okay, so it's just a deadlift position. You're going to wiggle the toes while you're down in this position, making sure that you're feeling nice and strong through the core so you're not letting your belly button hang out and you're not rounding through the back as well. You want to find a neutral position where there's not a lot of tension in the stomach or in the back. You're feeling, wiggling the toes, you're feeling a little bit of a stretch in the hamstrings coming up. That's your inhale to hinge, exhale. This is all you need to do to get those glutes to start kicking in. Inhale, exhale. Okay, keeping the weight, make sure the weight's not coming onto the toes. The knees stay. They're not bending as I go down. They're not bending as I go down. They're staying soft, and as I bend, as I hinge back in the hips, they look like they're bending, but they're staying exactly the same. I just contract the quads and the glutes a little bit more on the way up the top to give me a little bit of power. 5 more, inhale. Make sure those knees are pressing out so you're not feeling any snapping or cracking in the hips. Like me, 2, 1 more. Flex through those glutes. You should be waking them up. They're starting to get some blood circulation to them. Then we're going to go down and we're going to grab our TheraBand and we're going to do a loop. Okay, we're going to put the loop around our ankle and we're going to have the chair in front of us. I'm going to go on an angle like this. So the chair in front of me is not to be pushed into. That's why it's not up against the knee structure. It's only for a little bit of balance forward so that we don't put too much weight in our toes. Okay, the TheraBand is going to be tight. We're going to have our foot back. You're going to hinge through the hips. Okay, nice light handle on the chair, chest out, abs in, and we're going to kick up. So you're feeling the glutes working, stabilizing, but we want to be trying to feel the bottom of the glute and the hamstring on this muscle, on this leg. So you're going to inhale. And then just focus on your out breath. Don't overthink the inhale. 10, 9. So we're looking for about that 10 to 12 per side, right? Keeping the weight in the heel. On that stabilizing side, you're going to be feeling both sides, just different places on both sides, making sure that when you lift this leg, you're not arching your back. You pull that core in to establish that nice, strong core. Okay, taking a little break between sides, it's nice to do a standing camel. So that's putting the hands and fingers onto the glutes, elbows back, and just a gentle stretch of the front of the psoas and the abdomen muscles. Okay, then we're going to go establish that tight TheraBand again, then that hinge, hands on the chair, looking ahead, chin is tucked, abs are in, and lift. And lift, breathing it out. On the way up, pull the core in nice and tight, kick back with the heel, feel the stabilizing glute on that side, feel the undercarriage of the glute and the top of the hamstring on the moving leg, making sure we're not arching our back, we're just going from tight of the TheraBand to tighter for 10 to 12 repetitions on each side, taking a break in between. So you can superset this one if you want with the hinge. Go back to the hinge and do it again, or just continue through the series and then start back up at the top for that second and third set. Keep in mind, if it's the first time through and you only do one set, perfect. The next time you maybe add on a second set. The next time you maybe add on a third set. That is how we want to do it in those baby steps for you. Very important to do what you can. Then you're going to take the chair and get rid of the TheraBand. And we're going to do a squat to chair, but we're going to have one leg. So we're going to have the heel lifted on one leg. Okay, so it's still a squat to chair, but we're going to challenge that stability and balance. Okay, we're going to inhale and exhale, come up. Inhale and exhale, come up. The reason that we're doing this is because we have imbalances and we have instability in through the hip, the ankle, and the knee. So this is what we want to be able to get to sooner or later, is to have a leg fully out and doing a squat. But for right now, we're establishing nice and slow on the way down, all the way. Lift yourself up. So you're pushing through this toe. You're using this leg, but we're just using each leg differently. So 10 to 12 repetitions on one side, 10 to 12 on the other. Come all the way up. Sit the bum down and up 2. You can start challenging yourself with lifting that leg off the ground as you go down, and then use that leg to get you back up. Challenge yourself on the way down, and then use that leg to get you back up. It's the down phase that's establishing that strength and that stability in through that core, ankle, knee, and hip all the way down. So after you've done 10 to 12 on those, moving the chair to the side, lying leg series, it's going to look like this. We're going to do about 12 to 15 on each side. You can have a pillow, a yoga block, or something underneath your body, underneath your head here. Make sure you're pulling your abs gently in so that they're just not out onto the mat. You're going to pull everything up and in, keeping the chin tucked so that we're not coming forward in a rounded position. Your knees are going to be bent at 90, so your feet are in line with your tailbone. We're going to do a clamshell first, so it's a good glute or piriformis exercise. So you're just going to keep the feet together, feel the glutes working, work the core, think about the breathing through the diaphragm. When we breathe through our nose, exhale through our mouth, we pull that core up and in, and we establish a little bit more pressure with those glutes and the core. So 12 to 15 per movement here. Okay, there's going to be 3 movements. So piriformis, then we're going to do glute med. So the leg is straight now, keeping the bottom leg bent. You just line the top one up with it and then turn the toe in. Don't turn the toe in so the hip goes down, turn the toe in so just the femur, the top of the thigh, turns down. Then holding your hand here, keeping your head relaxed, pulling the same breath, inhale. Lift that leg as high as you can without feeling it up. You don't want to feel it up in the waist. You want to be feeling it right at the top of the glutes. Keep the toe turned in. Very important, because this is the glute med. That's 5. We're going to do 10. Feeling that glute. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, then we're going to roll over. Okay, we had the right leg. Keep the right leg down, heels nice and close to butt, but the left toe, the left leg isn't going to work. We're just going to do the right leg here. So the toe is just helping for balance again, and we're going to do a hip thruster. So hip thruster doesn't look like this. Ribs stay down, bra strap stays down. That's how I think about it. So you're going to go tuck the tailbone, lift, squeeze the butt cheeks, roll the tailbone down again. So it's tailbone lift, and then roll the low back into tailbone down again. So it's a little bit of a roll because you want to establish the sequence of events you need in order to contract those glutes into that posterior pelvic tilt. Hip thruster. Once you've got it, you don't have to think about the sequence as much, but you want to think about the sequence so that we're not kicking in that hamstring, okay? It's a red flag if you can't do this exercise without feeling the hamstring. It means your hamstrings are overworking, and we need to try and figure out why they're overworking. Okay, going straight into the left side here, we're going to do 12 repetitions. 2, right? Remember, we're rolling, so it's tailbone lifts, lower back lifts, lower back rolls down, tailbone relaxes, tailbone, lower back, and tailbone. Once you get comfortable with the move, you're just keeping the ribs down, flexing through the glute. You're definitely feeling dominant on the left side right now. This is just our transition, and then we go to the left side for the last 2 glute series, and then we're done moving up to the top of the program. Or if it's your first time through and you just want to try each of these movements to get them into your body, that is absolutely fine too. We're going on to the left side, head in hand, chin tucked, ribs in, core is established, bent knees at 90, feet together. We're going to do a clam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get quiet because I think I hear G. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeezing through those glutes. Foot is going to be turned in. Okay, make sure that hip doesn't drop. Keep that hip up, abs in, ribs in. Inhale through the nose and exhale, lift as high as you can, but make sure you're not feeling those obliques. You're just feeling the top of the glute. In fact, the glute med, that pocket of that glute, keep that toe turned under, the leg is nice and straight. Not creating any tension in your shoulders because you don't need that upper body to work right now. You just need it to breathe. Woo. Feel that glute working. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Last one, and done. Whew. Done your AAA workout. Head back up to the top for another set of all of those. And